Hello, how are you? Well, during my years living in China, I traveled through several cities. There was one place where I lived, my home, my central point, the city where I work and from which I moved and to which I returned. The city was called Changsha, a place very little known around here, a place very little known outside of China. In fact, this city is so little known here that when I remember when I bought my ticket, my plane ticket at an agency, the girl who assists me had to search on her computer to see if there was any connection or something that could take me from here to there because she had never even heard of it. And it's curious because in that city, Mao Zedong, Mao, the father of Chinese communism, studied at university in Hunan University. And so did I. But that's another story. Of course, I'm not going to pretend it's known because of me, although after this, some people will maybe look it up on Google. That's how, well, the modern world works. Of course, in China, it's very famous since Mao is their most well known national figure, respected by 90% of Chinese, and elevated almost to the level of a demigod. No exaggeration, especially by older generations and the more nationalistic ones. It's something similar to what happens, I don't know, maybe with George Washington in the US. Maybe. Okay, the aforementioned Changsha lives up to the phrase even if you dress a monkey in silk, it's still a monkey. And by this, I mean that it's a city growing at an accelerated pace, like many others in the country. It is truly impressive to see how skyscrapers and ultra modern neighborhoods are built everywhere, every month, everywhere. It already had, of course, a train station. The train is the main means of transportation in China, allowing you to travel to any province and reach those little villages we see on National Geographic. In fact, it's clear that much of the country's developed is thanks to the train. We should copy that. They copy us many things. We should copy them, their trains, their connection. What it lacked, this city, was a metro line. So they got to work, and in just 3 years, well, they inaugurated more than 15 ultra modern stations, just like the trains, and they keep adding more and more lines. So, of course, with such growth, people don't walk everywhere. It's not like that anymore. They don't ride bicycles anymore. And every day, more and more cars, like, I don't know, well, the most expensive brands Audi, Mercedes Benz, or Toyota, Tesla, whatever you want, or electric cars can be seen on the streets. And for those idealists who still believe that communism in China is like what Che Guevara described, it's no exaggeration. Every month, new gate communities open, some costing more than 10,000 yuan per square meter of land. To be clear, an average salary in China is just, I don't know, over 4,000 or 5,000 yuan. Still, this is the situation in many cities across the country. They grow non-stop, and no matter how modern and beautiful they are, well, they will never be the capital. That's why the monkey is saying. I highly recommend living in medium-sized cities like this for at least 1 year, because that's where you truly experience change, the adrenaline of a modernization, and at the same time, since there are still not many foreigners, you can enjoy a mix of traditional culture and modern life. A similar situation happens in Hong Kong, although there the mix is between yeah, Eastern and Western culture, and it's spectacular. And speaking of taste, well, Changsha, food, I mean, Changsha has a rivalry with another province called Sichuan, over which has the spiciest food. I tried them both, and as far as I'm concerned, Changsha wins. And that works against me because I don't like spicy food. I mean, to clarify, I do like spicy food, but what you eat in Changsha is fire. It's like putting a burning coal in your mouth. In fact, in some cases, I think the coal will be less hot. I'm someone who loves exploring new cities, and whenever I travel, I rarely took a bus or a taxi. I almost always walk because that made me feel more connected to local life, something priceless. At least for me. One of my first days, when I still wasn't working on speaking a word of Chinese, I told my girlfriend I will go buy something to prepare a good dinner at a large supermarket we had gone to once. Are you sure you know how to get there? She asked. Of course, don't worry, we've been there once and I remember perfectly. It's only about a 15-minute trip, I told her. 15 minutes by bus. It wasn't that far, but it wasn't so near just to walk. So when she left for the office, I walked with her, and then I went to the bus stop. Although China is known for its overpopulation, fortunately there are many buses and they come frequently. So after like, I don't know, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that, I was already on one. I was feeling proud, thinking, look at me now, I can take a bus by myself in China without anyone's help. While observing the streets, the buildings, everything. But suddenly I looked at my watch, not this one, and the trip seemed longer than before. My heart started beating faster, but I tried not to worry. However, time kept passing and the supermarket never appeared. wait, wait. Last time there weren't so many trees, and the trip took 15 minutes. No, 40 minutes. I thought. Little by little, people got off until it was just me and another man. I remember this very much. And the nice modern streets gave way to much uglier ones where cars and strangely for China, people were scarce. Obviously, I had taken the wrong bus. At one point, the last man that like he was on the bus with me, another passenger. Well, he got off, and I did the same, thinking I could cross the street and catch the return bus going the opposite way. But no, this was China, and our common sense doesn't always apply there. I crossed the street, and when I found the first stop, it had many route numbers, except the one I needed. My forehead started sweating despite the cold weather, and calmly I checked my pockets, feeling only one piece of paper. I realized I had just 1 yuan bill, the price of a ticket. And when I checked the other pocket, I realized I didn't have my wallet or my phone. My phone was my main tool for help. But then I thought that even if I could call my girlfriend, I could only tell her I was on a street somewhere with cars and some buildings. I don't know, just one place. I figure, I figure there were two possibilities. Either I had been robbed because I was a foreigner somewhere, or I had left everything at home. With no other option, I kept walking on instinct. And after several blocks, I looked to my right and saw people waiting at another stop. Finally, I approached and saw the number of the bus I was looking for, and I breathed. But was it really the one that would take me back, or it would take me somewhere else? I wanted to ask, but I was like deaf and mute. I didn't speak or understand Chinese, and the people there waiting in a random street, in a random bus stop outside of the city, probably didn't understand English either. So there I was, without money, without communication, lost on a small street in a Chinese city, waiting for a bus that hopefully could take me back, will take me back home. When it arrived, I got on, paid with my only bill, my last hope, and sat on the back. I knew it was my only chance and there could be no mistake. Nervously, I looked out the window, but nothing was familiar. Oh my god, everything, well, looked the same. I mean, the signs with Chinese letters. Yeah, it was terrible. After about, I don't know, like 30 minutes or 40 minutes, and who knows how many turns, the bus reached a bridge and then the city center. No wanting to take more risk, I got off there since although it was far, I knew how to get home on foot. So I went walking. When I arrived home, like 1 hour later maybe, I had to walk like 1 hour, maybe more. I opened the door and saw my wallet and the phone on the table, and I read. It's true, I can be a bit absent-minded sometimes. Days later, I went with my girlfriend to the same supermarket and realized I had taken the bus from another stop. Of course, from a different corner with similar signs. At least, similar signs at least to my Western eye. How silly I was. But I made it, and it was such an adventure. Scary, yeah, but such an adventure. And I'm here. And well, that afternoon, when my girlfriend came home, she asked what I had bought for dinner, and I replied, I told her, don't worry, today we are eating out. Continue tomorrow.